And of course, the text which is coming out from nothing is Venezuela and the countries of the ALBA group, the Bolivarian Alliance, say that we will not accept. We will not accept any text other than that which comes from the working group for the Kyoto Protocol and the Convention. Those are the legitimate groups which have been discussing this intensely for all these years. And I think people haven't been able to sleep, and in fact they haven't even been able to have lunch either. So it's not logical that a document should just be produced from nowhere, out of the blue. Sustainable objectives of reducing greenhouse gases and ensuring a long-term agreement now, those attempts seem to have failed for the time being. What's the reason for that? We have no doubt that the reason is the attitude, the irresponsible attitude and lack of political will of the most powerful nations on this earth. Please don't anybody be offended. Jose Horacio Ortega said, quite rightly, that I don't feel offense, I don't feel fear. I want to be responsible. I want to negotiate. I want to deal with a problem which is the problem for all of us, and we can only resolve it all together. Political conservatism and the selfishness of the big consumers in the richest countries have great insensitivity, a lack of solidarity with the poor, with those who are hungry, with those who are most vulnerable to sickness and disease. Mr. President, we need a new single agreement applicable to absolutely unequal participants given their economic capacities, financial capacities and technological capacities, based on respect for the principles set out in the Convention. The developed countries should establish binding commitments, clear commitments substantially to reduce their emissions and to take on obligations for financial and technological assistance to the poor countries in order to confront the destructive dangers of climate change. Accordingly, the special features of the LDCs and island states should be recognized. Mr. President, climate change is not the only problem affecting mankind now. Another scourge includes the fact that the failure to fulfill Millennium Development Goals, and there have been so many summits, as the President of Senegal said. He noted that there have been lots and lots of promises, but they've all been unfulfilled, and the world continues destructively. The total income of the 500 richest persons in the world is greater than the income of the 460 million poorest. Those living in extreme poverty on less than $2 a day represent 40% of the world's population. That 40% of the world's population gets only 5% of world income. 9.2 million children die each year before reaching the age of 5, and 99% of these deaths occur in the poorest countries. Child mortality is 47 per 1,000 live births, but only 5 per 1,000 live births in the rich countries. Life expectancy is 67 years, but in the rich countries 79 years, and some of the poor countries is only 40. Additionally, the 1,100 million people without access, that is 1,100 million people without access to sanitation, more than 800 million people illiterate, and many hungry. This is true throughout the world. Now, the cause of this, what is the cause? Let's speak of the cause. Let's assign responsibilities. Let's not evade the true causes. The cause of all this disastrous situation is the destructive capitalist system and its model. Here, there is a quote I want to read out briefly from the theologist of liberation, Leonardo Wolff, a Brazilian from Latin America. Leonardo Wolff, on this very subject, says, what is the cause? It's the dream of seeking happiness through material accumulation and unending progress based on science and technology to exploit without any limit all the resources of the earth. And Darwin, of course, natural selection, the survival of the fittest. But of course, we know that the fittest are the ones who they're living on the ashes of the weakest. Jean-Jacques Rousseau said that between the strong and the weak, freedom oppresses. So what sort of freedom? Freedom to oppress, to invade, to murder, to eradicate, to exploit? That's a different freedom. Only the law gives freedom. There are some countries pretending that there is no document. They don't want a law. They don't want there to be a standard because the inexistence of such a standard means that they can continue to exploit their freedom. We want to put pressure here in the streets so that we get a commitment, we get a document which commits the most powerful